Thank you so much for joining. Thank you all so much for joining. I truly, really appreciate the time that you have set aside. So today, I have made myself available to answer any questions that you might have. There have been some questions that have come in earlier on. So in between as reading the live questions and me answering the live questions, I would be answering some of the questions we had prior as well. Hello, Angel. Hello, motivational coach. Hello, Doris. It's really good to see you here. Um, all the way from South Africa. Wow. Very nice to see you here. It's really good to finally. I wish there was a way that we could interact, that it could be two-way, but maybe in future we'll make that happen. But I'm so glad to be here and so glad to finally see you guys here. So, a few questions. If anybody doesn't have a question right now, I hope I'm not missing anything. But I do have my sister here to ensure that I do not miss anything. So, okay, I have a question that came in some time ago from Motivational Coach. It's good to see you here. And the question read that both my parents had type 2, and although I have not been diagnosed with it yet, I do have some high blood pressure. I'm scared of getting it because I know that it's quite possible to get type 2. So thank you for showing a way out of this deadly death issue. Can you share some foods that you eat? And that is why I have started. It was actually from this question that I started sharing meals that I used to help me reverse type 2 diabetes, because we are told so many things. And I say all the time that we are told a lot of the things that we cannot eat. But when it comes to things that we can eat, it's usually a blur. And so my main aim is to make the process simple and easy enough. And that is why I'm sharing all the recipes that I used and everything. I'm sharing everything that I learned because it has really come a long way to help me. And I too have a family history of diabetes and high blood pressure, as a majority of you may know. For those who have been following the channel, thank you again. My mother was a type 2 diabetic, and it hits home all the time because I watched my mother do everything she was asked to do, take her medications, eat what she was asked to eat, try and balance it out. But it was still not working. And at some point, the complications of diabetes took her away at a very early age. We were not expecting that. But I'm so grateful to God that He showed me the way like He did. And sometimes I wish, or the one of the main purposes for which I decided to go on this journey, even though it was so scary to put myself out there, was I thought about it. And sometimes I would think to myself, if my mother knew somebody like me who had been able to actually reverse a condition like type 2 diabetes at the verge of a diabetic coma, maybe my story would be different. Maybe she would still be here. Who knows? God knows why she's not here with us. But those questions will run through my mind. And that is why, for the most part, I try to share everything that I have learned, everything that I know, so that if it saves somebody's mother, father, sister, brother, grandfather, at least me sharing what I know would help somebody have some more time with their loved one. And that is why I do what I do. I know many a time I'm asked a lot of questions, some not so nice, some also nice. And That should tell you how much I appreciate those of you who encourage and support me in this journey, because it is not easy to put yourself out there and have, people just nitpick at things that you have said. So one of the days, just to deviate a little bit, one of the days I made a video about high glycemic index fruits, that if you are insulin resistant or if you're type 2 diabetic, you should try to avoid. And the words are try to avoid. And I mentioned papaya, I mentioned watermelon, I mentioned pineapple, I mentioned dates, and there was another one. So papaya, pineapple, watermelon, dates. Those fruits have very high glycemic indexes, even though they have the fiber if you eat the whole fruit. But the thing is, most of the time when I say try and avoid them, people take it in the context of don't eat them. I'm not saying do not eat them. What I'm saying is, because you're insulin resistant and because you're type 2 diabetic, the rate of absorption of these fruits, and most of these high glycemic index fruits, it is basically simple carbs and sugar. They are made up of glucose and sucrose, or is it fructose? Fructose, glucose and fructose. And those types of sugars get absorbed into the bloodstream very, very quickly. And because they get absorbed very quickly into the bloodstream, if you don't eat it with a very high amount of fiber, the fiber in the fruits alone will not stop you from getting a blood sugar spike. You would have to incorporate or add a lot more fiber rich foods in order for it to combat the rate at which the glucose and the fructose gets absorbed into your bloodstream. But I posted that video. I don't think I've posted that on YouTube yet. Oh my goodness, forgive me. I will post it. But I posted that video, and there was this man attacking me that I should keep my experience to myself, which was a little sad to me, because every day, if you look at the statistics, people die of this disease. I had a friend whose friend's leg was amputated not too long ago, and we went to church and he was telling me about it. The guy is barely 40 years old. His legs got amputated because probably he did not get the education that he needs. And some or all of this information is to get the education out there, but some are not very receptive to it. But I pray that for those of us who have lost loved ones and seen how terrible this disease can be and the things that it can inflict on the human body, blindness, heart attacks, strokes, amputations, you don't want to be a part of it. So I pray that as I share, it's not taken the wrong way and it's not taken in the wrong context. But all I'm trying to do is to help, because I wish when I was younger, I knew somebody like me who would help my mother, but I did not. And if I can be that person for somebody, then why not? So do forgive me. I get a little emotional when I'm talking about my mother, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Okay. So Doris says, I don't have a family history of diabetes, but my mom died of high blood pressure at 53 years old. So I was diagnosed in 2019 after being admitted in a hospital with 40 or at 47, and the doctor said it was because of estrogen depletion. Yeah, it does happen. And the thing is, what what at this point I have come to accept is God gave us all these foods for a reason, Right. And I was battling high blood pressure, Doris. I was battling type 2 diabetes. I was battling high cholesterol. Mine was like, on top of it all, I had three herniated discs in my spine. As to where that came from, I have no idea. At some point, I was even told that it was because I had had four kids. It had taken a toll on my spine. I mean, I don't consider myself as that old, but to tell me that having four kids had an influence on my spine, it did not sit well with me. Aside that, I was a type 2 diabetic, I had high blood pressure, I had high cholesterol. So I had to, and that's why I decided to do my due diligence and then do my research. So this process, it works. It works. I have experienced it. Everything I have shared on my channel is because it works. Allowing food to reverse conditions in your body, it works. If not for anything at all, just know that one time I read a statement that said, the best medicine is not found in pharmacies, it's found at the grocery section in the grocery stores, where you can find actual whole food items to buy. And when I say whole food items, these the raw food that God made for us. And I have come to find out that it is so true. Eating the right things, reducing all the things that um, have been created for us by man, all the simple sugars, all the alternate sugars, the high fructose corn syrups, all those things, reducing them considerably, and at some point cutting back considerably on that and focusing on eating nutrient dense meals, fiber rich meals, healthy fats, healthy protein, is what has helped me today by God's grace. It is not, they make it seem as though it is unattainable. It is not unattainable. It is very attainable. And for anything, use me as an example. I started last year around this time, not knowing what what God had in store for my future. I started this time around last year with an A1C of 9.4. And it was one of the questions that, what was my A1C then and what is it now? I started with an A1C of 9.4. I was qualified at the verge of a diabetic coma. My doctors were not happy with me. I was not happy with me. The medications they were pushing was way too much. It did not make sense to me. And if you have watched my video where I ignore the diabetes guidelines, I'm not asking people, and sometimes people ask me this, I'm not asking people to ignore the guidelines. I'm just asking you to analyze what you're being asked to do as a diabetic. My mother followed the guidelines. She needed the medication because at that time, we hadn't found the way that works. I started at 9.4. I could be in bed 4, 5 days a week. I could not work. I could not help my kids. I could not, when I had to go to the bathroom, I needed help to just go pee because the herniated discs in my spine did not allow me to be mobile. Sometimes I felt paralyzed. Now, at some point, I had to analyze my situation. I had to analyze where I was at. I had to analyze everything that the guidelines was asking me to do and figure out if it was working for me. And that is what I try to make people understand, that you need to figure out what works for you. Even though there are underlying things that work, you have to manipulate it and let it work for you. So for me, I analyzed it and I realized it was not working. I was asked to eat 50 grams of carbs per meal because I was a diabetic. I would be asked to push insulin, both long term and short term insulin regulators inside me. And then it would cause my blood sugars to go low. Then I would be asked to eat more because my blood sugars are going low. And I was asked to eat within 1 hour of waking up. I was asked to eat a snack before bed. I was asked to eat in between meals and snack. During my journey, I found out that at some point, the body needs time to rest. And that is the only way you can decrease insulin. If you're constantly eating and if you're constantly pushing insulin, there would be no room for your body to say, hey, this is my resting time. Okay, insulin, just back up, back up, back up. Just go to sleep right now. There is no time for that because you're constantly eating. They're asking you to eat the carbs because you're pushing insulin, and they're asking you to push insulin because you're eating the carbs. When does it stop? To me, it was a vicious cycle. And that is why I researched all these foods and found a way to meal prep, found a way. I understand that right now we are all busy. We have sedentary lifestyles because most of us have office jobs. We go to the office, we clock in, we clock out, or we log in, we log out, but we are stationary. We sit behind our desks. I'm not saying for all of us, for the majority of us, we sit behind our desks and we work. You only get up when you're going to pee. You only walk about when you're going for lunch. You only walk about when you're going for dinner. When you're done, you come home, life kicks in again. If you have kids, you have to take care of your kids. If they have extracurricular activities, you have to take care of it. If you have a husband, you need to take care of a husband. You need to take care of your home. If even you're single, you have activities and things that come to play that take up your time. So it is tough. And so I thought, well, my life is busy at this time. I cannot hit the gym 6 times a week. I cannot even hit the gym because I have 3 herniated discs in my spine. That is not even allowing me to move. My best alternative was food. And that is what I share. And I love food. Hey, come on, let's be real. Who doesn't love food? Well, some people say they don't love food, but I'm a foodie. And I love food. And the food has to smell good and it has to taste good and it has to look good, you know? And once it does, it is great to eat. It's really great to eat. We love food. So at the end of the day, but you see, during my journey, I had to come to a realization, and it was a very tough realization. And it's something that I have lived by. I learned throughout my journey that we don't live to eat, we eat to live. And that changed a lot of the perspective that I had. Because at the end of the day, I'm not living to eat. So I don't have to accept and put anything that man has made into poisonous substances into my body. I need to eat to live. So at some point, I was asking myself, so if I'm eating to live, is what I'm eating going to make me live? Or is what I'm eating shortening my lifespan? And that was a wake up call for me. So it made me conscious of what I put into my body, extremely conscious. And my prayer for everybody is that wherever you are in your journey, just start being conscious about these little things. Very conscious. If you start reading labels, if you start practicing something like just reading labels, you would be surprised at the amount of added sugar that is put into our cereals, for instance, that they call power meals or power breakfasts. No. So, if not for anything, for your own sake and for the sake of your loved ones, eat to live. And when you're eating to live, you eat nutrient dense foods that would actually benefit your body. So I do hope this helps. I hope I didn't deviate too much. Let me see if I have if I have any other questions. Oh, Angel says, um, okay, Golden Girl. I think I missed a few. Wow, I have missed a lot. Okay. Doris said, no, okay, I was here. Just joined. How do you reverse A1C? I believe that's a question. How do you reverse A1C? Mary, you need to watch my video. In fact, which one? All of my videos. Six rules I live by. I break it down. Very simple. Six rules I live by: reverse diabetes mellitus or reverse type 2 diabetes. Why I ignore the guidelines. Are you insulin resistant? Ways and signs to look out for on your body to know if you're insulin resistant. And I know I've mentioned this before, and for those of you who have not watched it yet, go back and watch my video. Are you insulin resistant? Because that would give you or show you or let you know the signs you should look out for, to know that you're insulin resistant. But insulin resistance is the underlying factor for type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. It's basically the underlying factor for most of these health conditions that we battle with lately. So, and it's also the major condition that leads to heart strokes and heart attacks and amputations and blindness. So it's really important to know if you're insulin resistant. And if you are, I have outlined steps you can take. And I've shared recipes that I use to reverse my insulin resistant and type 2 diabetes. So remember that you get insulin resistant first. Unfortunately, in our hospitals, insulin resistance is not tested. The only test you have is when the condition has progressed and gotten worse. So they test for prediabetes, they test for high blood pressure, they test for type 2 diabetes, they test for high cholesterol, but they don't test for insulin resistant. But you can be insulin resistant for years without knowing that you're insulin resistant. And you can live with that. And the key or the main thing to notice when you're insulin resistant, weight loss is extremely difficult. You're unable to lose weight very easily. So you see a lot of our medical professionals pushing weight loss medications. You see them pushing weight loss pills, pushing weight loss, all these injectables. Hmm. But they do not bother to ask or to let you know that you may be insulin resistant because you're not losing weight. You are not getting rid of that belly fat. You are not able to easily reverse certain conditions because you're insulin resistant. But that is not tested for. So you have to make sure that you know what insulin resistance is and analyze yourself, know yourself, analyze yourself, and find out if you are insulin resistant. And that would be the beginning of you changing certain things in your life. So, uh, yes, Golden Girl says good information. Thank you, Golden Girl. Doris says, to be honest, I have learned something from you. The few videos I have watched from you, I recently started following you. I know you have said ACV is good and it helps in reducing high sugar. Yes, ma'am. Apple cider vinegar is very good for you. Some say it gives them acid reflux, but I did some research and I found out that there were some studies that show that apple cider vinegar actually helps with acid reflux. The only thing is there hasn't been a lot of studies that have been done. So they cannot concretely say that it does help with acid reflux, but there have been some studies. And throughout my journey, I have incorporated apple cider vinegar with lemon. If you watch my video, 6 rules I live by, I take 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, squeeze one whole lemon, freshly squeezed, in there, or it could be the bottled lemon. But I must say that when you buy the concentrated lemon from the store, you are not getting all the vitamin C that the raw lemon would actually give to your body because it's been heated, it's been pasteurized, so it has lost a bit of the vitamin C in there. So if you can, and your lifestyle can accommodate you squeezing in a fresh lemon, I would say go for that. Um, because that one has more benefits. But yeah, incorporating apple cider vinegar every morning throughout my journey, every morning, it's one of the first things I drink. I have a homemade apple cider vinegar substitute that I also drink. I've made that video as well because sometimes I don't always feel like smelling and drinking apple cider vinegar. So I have substitutes that I have made that also have the benefits of acetic acid, or that would mimic the benefits of apple cider vinegar that I take in the morning. So if in the morning I take my apple cider vinegar on an empty stomach before I eat anything else, if I would drink anything, it would be water before I take my apple cider vinegar. But aside that, majority of the time I do take it in on an empty stomach. And I know there is a lot of information out there that says, oh, you can take the shot. You can add salt and take the shot. I don't know why anybody would give that information because studies and research has shown that if you do take a shot of apple cider vinegar, it is way too strong. The acid is way too strong for even for your tummy walls. So even though you're trying to do something good for yourself, you're doing your tummy walls and just a lot of the things that go on in our body that we do not see a disservice by drinking a shot. So please do not take a shot of apple cider vinegar, mix it with 8 ounces of water. Sometimes I mix it with 12 ounces of water. I put a straw in it. I put the straw almost close to my throat and I chuck it in. Whatever works, it has to go. So I just chuck it in. The days I don't feel like drinking apple cider vinegar, I have my homemade apple cider vinegar substitute, which I have shared the video on my channel as well. I drink that because that one is tastier and it smells better to a certain degree. So that one is easier to drink, but I interchange it. And even though I interchange it, I make sure that every morning I get my apple cider vinegar and my lemons in. Okay, I don't compromise on that because I have experimented a lot with myself. And during the days when I drank a little bit of apple cider vinegar mixed with water before any of my meals that had carbohydrates in it, I realized that the spike in my blood sugar was not as much as the spike in my blood sugar when I ate without the apple cider vinegar. So I know it works. At least I've tried it. All right. Um, Doris says, I really get bad heart with ACV. So, what can you recommend? Okay, so if the ACV gives you, I'm pretty sure it's heartburns, right? If it gives you heartburns, because it is pretty strong, I'm not sure if you have tried mixing it with a little bit more water, but if that is too strong for you, lemons are a great substitute for apple cider vinegar. The acetic acid in apple cider vinegar is almost the same as what is in the lemon. So if you substitute it with lemons, and that's why I made the apple cider vinegar substitute video and then the reduced blood sugar video, because I drink those interchangeably. I don't drink apple cider vinegar 7 days a week because it can be tough. Let's be real, it can be tough. You're trying to get healthy, but it can be tough. So instead of drinking ACV 7 days a week, I substitute. Sometimes I drink it 3 times a week, and then I drink my apple cider vinegar substitute the rest of, or the reduced blood sugar substitute the rest of the week. Or sometimes I'll do 2 days of apple cider vinegar with the lemon, 2 days of homemade substitute, 2 days of the reduced blood sugar juice. So it really doesn't matter as long as you are taking something in that helps stabilize your blood sugar, you are fine. So I hope that helps. And Golden Girl says ACV is good for many ailments. That is so true. I agree, Golden Girl. And Angel says, you have helped me get off my diabetic and cholesterol meds. Wow. Angel, I was waiting for the results. I didn't know you had gotten off your meds yet. But congratulations. Oh my goodness. My doctor took me off a few weeks ago. He said he will do blood work in 3 months to see how I do without them. I plan on staying off. Yes. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing this testimony, Angel. I really appreciate you coming out to say that, because the process works. I have shared it with my friends before I came on YouTube. I had shared it with some of my very close friends. They had gotten off their medications. I had shared it with their friends, people I didn't know. They had gotten off meds. So I just want to let you know and encourage somebody, the process works. If you stick to it and you stick by it. And Angel, wow, I'm just so I feel goosebumps on me right now reading that I have helped you get off your diabetic and cholesterol meds. Oh Lord Jesus. I'm I'm just so grateful. I thank God that I was able to help you. I thank God that I was able to help somebody out there. But congratulations, Angel. That is an amazing achievement. You should take yourself out, but not with no carbs. We are not eating carbs. No carbs, no juices. Just take yourself out, eat your nutrient dense foods and have fun. That is amazing. Wow, I applaud you, Angel, because it takes great dedication. So great job. And I pray that your testimony would encourage somebody. All right, motivational coach says, oh, wow, yes, to Angel. Wow, that is amazing. And then motivational coach says again, I have so much work to do. I'm not there yet though, but you are getting there. You are getting there. And I would want to motivate you and say that it is a process. When the process is going on, it can be challenging. It can be tough. And sometimes you think about it and you wonder, oh my gosh, when am I getting there? But with sustainability and dedication, you will get there. It may be slow, but you will get there. And I just want to say that just don't quit. Don't quit. Throughout my journey, I realized that one of the things that helped me was me not giving up on myself. We always think that maybe when we are on a journey and things don't go well, we failed. No. My mother taught me something when I was really young, and it has stayed with me. You have not failed if you have not quit yet. You only fail when you quit. So if you're on a journey, you will have stumbling blocks. You will go through the trials, you go through the tribulations, you go through the days when it's like, oh, I don't feel like doing this. I was there. I've been there before. It's like, oh, this is a lot. And I'm just trying to live. I'm just trying to, but In everything that anybody wants to succeed in, they have to be intentional about it. And once you're intentional about it, it doesn't matter how many times you fall. It doesn't matter how many times you are knocked down. What matters is how many times you get back up and keep going. And as long as you get back up and you keep going, no matter how that long road is, you will get there. And again, another saying from my mother, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. The process may be difficult, the journey may be long, the process may be tough, but as long as you know that there is light at the end of the tunnel, you got this. So you're not there yet, but we are getting there together and we are getting healthy together. All right. Okay. So the next question, or maybe not a question, a statement. Doris says, for me, I can't wait to go and be checked because my sugar levels have really gone down. Whoop, whoop. I wake up with 5.6, but some days 7, 6 most days. Wow, that is awesome. Are those your fastings? If those are your fastings, that is awesome. That is amazing. Wow. Wow. Good job, Doris. So I can't wait for you to get checked either. And when you get checked, remember to share it with us because that is good news. That is amazing, Doris. Wow, Doris and Angel, thank you. Thank you so much for everything, for the testimonials they are sharing. I'm just so humbled, and I'm just thankful to God right now that the little that I have to share, is helping people out there. Thank you so much. And Doris says, I went through that. Yes, the ups and downs, the cycles of pushing insulin, eating more, and then eating more because you're pushing insulin. Yeah, it's a vicious cycle nobody has to go through. So thank you for sharing your story. Eric says, I don't know what the I don't is. Oh, someone had a question. Let me see. Um, okay. Okay, Freggy says, I am not on meds, but I feel tingling on my feet. What do I do? Okay, so tingling on the hands and feet is one of the symptoms of insulin resistance. So, what I'm going to say is you would have to go more rigorous on cutting out the simple sugars and the simple carbs and even the complex carbs. So, at the beginning of my journey, because I wanted to cut down on my A1C numbers and reduce sugar, I think that in one of my videos, I believe I mentioned that I cut carbs out completely. I cut out simple carbs, and I have explained the difference between simple carbs and complex carbs and the ones that can be found on each continent. I believe in the video that says week 2, challenge week 2. So if you don't know what the difference between, if anybody on here doesn't know the difference between simple carbs and complex carbs, you can watch the video that says challenge week 2. I think the truth behind, or the truth about complex carbs, and it would explain the difference and the complex carbs that can be found, the simple carbs to avoid, and the complex carbs that can be found on each continent. So I would say, Freggy, cut out simple carbs, cut out complex carbs. And I know that it is sometimes not easy because we grew up on these carbs, right? And most of our meals are made up of carbs. But what I'll say is, if even you cannot cut it out, I would say that reduce the portion of your carbs considerably and incorporate more fiber. So, for instance, if you are eating, um, this is just an example of some of the foods I researched. If you are eating maybe bitter leaf stew, right? And fufu or benku or yam or cocoyam or whatever you're eating it with, eat more of the bitter leaf stew than the yam and the cocoyam, because the bitter leaf stew has more fiber, it's more nutrient dense as against the yam and the cocoyam that is mainly carbs, right? So eat more. That's how I started. I started eating more of my sauces than eat more of the carbs that I eat with the sauces. In future, I know the videos are trickling in bit by bit, but I'm going to share a lot of these sources that I used. I'm still working at it. It's not easy working and making these videos. It's hard work. I commend YouTube creators because it's hard work. But I'm going to keeping on. I'm going to share all these sources that I used, and I'm going to find alternatives that can be found, because I know that some in Nigeria and Malaysia have expressed to me that some of the foods that and even in Ghana, have expressed that some of the foods that I mentioned cannot be found where they are. So I'm still researching, I'm still trying to get the necessary information that I need so that I can bring you uh, um, good information. I can bring you substitutes for all the meals that I learned to create and how you can incorporate it into your meals. But wherever you are, increase your fiber intake, increase your fiber intake, increase your healthy fats intake, increase your protein intake, and completely decrease your carb intake. And all these things I'm mentioning, I have gone in depth in majority of my videos, even the food videos that I have shared. So just watch them, listen to them, get as much knowledge as you can, and then just find a way to incorporate it into your lifestyle, as I find a way to share all these meals and all these foods and all the processes that I used to help me and are still helping me till today. So I hope that helps, Doris. If Oh, that's Freggy. Yes, I hope that helps, Freggy. So if you're feeling tingling in your feet and your hands, I'm not going to sit here and alarm and say, "Whoa, that's look." It's normal. It's just a sign of insulin resistance, and it's good that you have figured it out now, so that you find a way to reverse it. So you can watch my video, "Are you insulin resistant?" It would tell you all the things you should look out for, and also give you some solutions to combating it. And like I said, if you incorporate the meals I've started sharing and just increase your fiber intake wherever you are, increase your fiber intake, increase your protein intake, increase your healthy fats, and decrease, I can't emphasize this enough, completely decrease your in fact, the simple carbs, man, if you're feeling tingling, cut it out. Cut out the simple carbs. That means no ice cream, no chips, no donuts, no muffins, no cakes, at least for the next 3 months, and see how. I know it can be tough, because it was tough for me. But the days when I found myself tasting it a little bit, I made sure I took that fiber in. Okay. And as you are tasting it, don't overdo it. And that's why I usually say try and avoid it, because sometimes when you taste it, that's what gets you into trouble. So try and cut down the simple carbs and the complex carbs as much as possible, so that we can reverse this insulin resistance. And very soon you'll be sharing your testimony in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. All right. So another question. Okay, Doris is asking, Miriam, have you experienced foot burning? If yes, how did you deal with that? So I did not experience burning per se. I experienced tingling, like Freggy is experiencing. I did not experience burning, but I know that foot burning, it could be one of many things. I don't want to give you any wrong information or, blow an alarm or anything, but food burning, your age could be a factor, as we are getting into menopause. That could be a factor. Age, sometimes maybe something you're eating your body is not really relating to. I have not read any research that talks about foot burning as part of being insulin resistant, unless I missed it. But what I would say is that I can look into, excuse me, I can look into it and then let you know if that is something that research has taught that insulin resistance could present. But food burning, I have not experienced that. And like I said, I've not read it anywhere unless I did not see that research. So I would, please note it down for me. I will note it down and I'll get some research done into it to find out. Hopefully helps you and somebody else out there. So thank you so much, Doris, for your question. um, Angel says, thank you. Okay, I will. Yes, ma'am. Doris says, I can't wait for that. I was almost booking an early appointment. Wait, to which one? I missed that. But okay, that is good. Doris says, Angel, well done. I can't wait to. I go in June for my next doctor's appointment. Yay! So let's get it. Let's bring that A1C down. Just keep going. Keep going. You are doing it. You're getting there. You will get there. All right. Don't let anybody tell you that you cannot. Don't let anybody tell you that you have to live off of meds. If not for anything at all, use me as an example. All right. The Doris says, okay, we've read that question. Golden Girl says, oh, did I?
I think she's asking how should she break 36 grams.
Oh, Golden Girl says the 1 tablespoon of honey in my morning beverage with ACV helps my sinuses. I have not needed sinus medication. Okay, okay, that helps. That really helps. And I agree because honey helps with opening up, I don't know what it's called, but it does open up. And so the sinuses would get better. But the thing with honey is, I would say be very careful with honey. Even though it is good for us, it has other benefits when it comes to high blood sugar and when it comes to insulin resistance and when it comes to type 2 diabetes or diabetes mellitus, like some may call it. 1 teaspoon of honey contains more sugar or more carbs than 1 teaspoon of actual cane sugar. So if you are taking 1 teaspoon of cane sugar, which has 4 grams of carbs in there, honey has 6 grams of carbs. So honey does have other health benefits, and I've used honey several times in the past before, not when I started my journey though. But in the past, I used honey because of all the other benefits. But when I found out how many carbs it contains, I kind of slowed down and eventually cut it out because it can contribute to spiking your blood sugar levels unless you drink the honey with the ACV very early in the morning. You drink your nutrient dense smoothie or something very fiber rich so that it would slow down the absorption of the sugar in the honey into your bloodstream. That would be very good. That way you do not worry about the impact of its sugar into your bloodstream. So if the honey in the ACV helps with the sinuses, definitely drink that. If anybody wants to try it, I think it would help and it would make it easier to drink. But after you're done drinking that, ensure that you take in a whole lot of fiber. And if I say a whole lot, any of these smoothies that I've shared, except the one with the milk, except the one with the almond milk, all the nutrient dense, fiber rich smoothies and the salads and all the other foods that I have shared that are fiber rich, incorporate that after 30 minutes after you have drunk the ACV. And I believe the ACV itself will slow down the absorption of the honey, the sugar in the honey into your bloodstream. But just to be on the safer side, during your first meal, top it up with some nutrient dense, fiber rich foods, and that would really help. So, thank you, Golden Girl. That was a very good point. Golden Girl says, congratulations, Doris. Freggy says, I now get 103 mg in the mornings. Woohoo! But after eating, sometimes 120, other times less than 100. That is great, Freggy. You are getting there. You are doing it. You want to aim for less than 100 mg in the morning, because I believe the normal is between, is it 60 and 100 or 80 and 100? One of the above is true. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, you need to ensure that your your fastings are below 100. And then the readings after you eat look great. 120, that is amazing. 120 after, because 2 hours after you eat, it has to be below 120. 1 hour after you eat, it has to be below 140. So girl, you're on track. Keep it up. I'm super proud of you, ladies. I'm so proud of you, ladies. You have no idea. But 103 is a great number. Keep keeping at it, and boom, by the time you realize. And I want to emphasize that as we are going slow, because we want to be able to incorporate it into our lifestyle, and we want to be able to sustain what we have started. So don't make it too difficult for you. Do what works for you, but then be intentional about incorporating all these things that would help regulate and reduce your blood sugar levels. That is amazing. As we are going on, guys, if you haven't liked, please hit the like button, because I understand that really helps YouTube to know that the event was liked and all of that. I'm still trying to figure out how it works. But please like if you have not liked yet. I would really appreciate it. It would help support the cause. So do well to hit that like button. Okay. Doris says, thank you, Golden Girl. And Golden Girl says, good job, Miriam. Motivational coach says, thank you. You're glowing by the, oh, thank you, motivational coach. I'm trying. Doris says, wait, did I skip? I think I skipped again. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let me see that. Okay. Golden Girl says, congratulations, Doris. And then we read Freggy's statement. Freggy, don't forget to give us an update when you check in June. I would love, 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 love to hear about the results and how the journey is going so far. So if you haven't joined our challenge yet and you want to reduce A1C, do well to join our challenge. We are getting into week 3. This is our second week, so it's still early. Join our challenge and let's bring that A1C down. We are getting healthy together. All right. Doris says, yes, that's my fasting. Okay, so the 103 is the fasting. We want to work at bringing it under 100. 103 is still very great, by the way. Let's work at bringing it under 100. And let me give you one tip. One of the things to help bring it down to 100 or below is actually ending your eating by 4 p.m. So we are working our way there, and it's part of our week 3 challenge that we are going to end eating. We are going to start with 5 p.m. and then we would increase to 4 p.m. But um, if you want to really do this and get it down under 103, try to be done eating by 4 p.m. It would make a huge difference. Don't even drink any smoothies when you're done or anything like that. Just every meal should be done by 4 p.m. And when that is done, when let's say 30 minutes or an hour after you are done eating, drink about 1 to 2 tablespoons of the apple cider vinegar and the lemon water, and then just chuck it. That would help regulate your blood sugar levels, so that during the time when those of us who are or have been insulin resistant before or trying to reduce blood sugar, during the morning, there's something called the dawn phenomenon. During the morning, around 4 a.m. and 8 a.m., I believe, the blood sugar spikes because our body is trying to give us energy, enough energy to wake up. For those of us who are insulin resistant, because our insulin is not able to combat our blood sugar, it's very difficult for the insulin to work hard enough to reduce that blood sugar below normal. So what you want to do is you want to have as minimal amount of sugar and carbs in your bloodstream by the time it's 4 a.m. And so try to be done eating by 4 p.m. so that by the time it's 4 a.m., your body would have had about 12 hours of rest. And by the time when, even though you are asleep, when your body is trying to give you the energy to wake up, your insulin would have enough or would not have enough carbs to try and fight your blood sugar down. So remember the dawn phenomenon. You can Google it and then see what it is. I hope I explained it properly, but that is the main reason why, even though your blood sugar is normal during the day, when you wake up in the morning, your fastings will be high because of the dawn phenomenon. Okay. So I hope that helps. And yes, the rest, Doris says, yes, that's my fasting. Yes. Motivational coach says, thank you. You're glowing. Thank you. Golden Girl says, good job, Miriam. Doris says, at Golden Girl, thank you. Golden Girl says, how should I break my 36-hour fast? Okay. The 36-hour fast, ensure that you break it with something nutrient dense or rich. I usually break mine. I start off breaking mine with water. I make sure I keep my water, drinking my water throughout my fasting time. I drink it half of my body weight in ounces every single day, because that makes it easy on your stomach. You drink that, and then when I break it, sometimes when I do a 36-hour fast, I do not break it with apple cider vinegar. I would rather prepare a smoothie that is either kiwi, strawberries, kale, some spinach. I think I'll share that smoothie recipe. Um, just blend that all together and take sips of it, because 36 hours is quite a bit of time to fast. You don't want to introduce anything that would be too vigorous for your tummy to digest when you take it in. Some people say fiber is not the best option, but I have tried that and it really hasn't bothered me. My gut thanks me most of the time. So that is good. So I was thinking of keeping this to an hour. Let me see. I just have a few more. Okay, let's just go through that. But I think this will be it. I am planning to have more of these live sessions, and hopefully, we are trying to find a way where we can get a platform that would be interactive. And that's why when you go to reverdia.org, we ask for the emails for those who are doing the challenge, so that when we're able to get a platform that is interactive, or if we decide to use Zoom, we would actually use the emails to log people in. So if you have not left your email yet, do well to go put it in on reverdia.org, so that we will have, and that link has been shared on our community page. So so that we would have it, and then when the time is up, we would know how many would be participating in our live interactive sessions. I think that would be so much fun. All
I
right.
think someone has a question.
Oh, someone had another question. Okay, one last question.
Jisoo Omotola says,
Okay.
how can she add more flesh?
Oh. As in, how can you,
She gained
Omotola? You
weight.
said, how can you gain weight? Actually, it is. I think you asked me that question some time ago, and I did some research into it. You can actually gain weight when practicing a low carb diet. And what I found that works is that you see all these nutrient dense and fiber rich foods and protein rich, healthy fatty foods that I have been sharing. You don't have to necessarily do a long, prolonged fastings. You can keep a very low carb diet, ensuring that you cut out especially your simple carbs. You can keep a very low carb diet, increase your protein, increase your healthy fats like avocados and nuts and seeds, increase your fiber intake, and you will build that muscle. You will build that lean mass. Because at the end of the day, people say when you want to gain weight, you have to be on a carbohydrate diet, but it's not always the case. If you want to gain weight, which is muscle, you would have to be on a lean protein diet, right? And healthy fats diet. But if you want to gain weight that is fat, you can get onto a carbohydrate diet. So you can actually get or gain weight with this low carb nutrient dense meals that I've been sharing. The only thing is, the best part, you can eat, because you're not trying to lose weight, you can eat as much of these nutrient dense foods without, having to think about it, because you are trying to gain lean mass instead of lose any fat that you do have, right? So still incorporate, practice a low carb diet because you're trying to reduce blood sugar, cut down your simple carbs significantly, cut down complex carbs significantly too, because complex carbs without the fiber is basically the same, because most of these complex carbs, I explained that in the week 2 challenge. Go watch it if you have not. Complex carbs don't have enough fiber to combat the simple carbs and those complex carbs that they advise us to take. So comparatively to the simple carbs, it is better, but when eaten alone, it is not so better or good for us. So I hope that helps, Omotola. Just use the nutrient dense foods, use the protein, use the healthy fats, and you gain some good lean mass. Don't do too much of intermittent fasting, because that will cause you to lose weight. Just reduce your carbs. So for you, instead of intermittent fasting, you may have to cut out 80 to 90% of your carbs. All right. And then increase the rest except carbs. All right. Okay. Thank you. We have another
One
question.
last
One
question.
last
Please
question.
scroll all the way up.
All the way up,
I mean down.
down. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, Freggy was asking,
Yes.
how many times do you eat in a day to end at 4 p.m.? So the number of times I eat actually depends on my mood. I know it's horrible. I'm working at it. But the number of times that I eat, it depends on the day. So I give myself weekly challenges, like I've started giving you now. Very soon we'll be doing it together, but I do more intensive challenges. But before I started the intensive challenges, I started with building the lifestyle, just like I've started teaching you. So what I do is, let's say in a day, sometimes I can say, look, I'm fasting for 22 hours every day for that week. Hmm, I don't always stick to it. So for maybe the first 2 or 3 days, I ate within a 2 hour window. Now, within that 2 hour window, I combine all my 3 meals and I eat it, which is really bad listening to it, but that is what works for me, because I don't want to get hungry by the time it is 7 p.m. or by the time it's 8 p.m. And many a time when I do this, I ensure that I am eating the nutrient dense foods. I don't eat salads all the time. Mm-mm. I don't drink smoothies all the time. But I ensure that even if I feel like eating a little bit of complex carbs, I will still drink my smoothies and I will still eat my salads and I will still eat everything else that I need to take in to make me better. So the number of times depends on my mood for that day. If I've given myself a challenge that this week I'm going to fast 22 hours every day, and I wake up that morning and I'm super duper hungry, I will break my fast early. I'll probably eat between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. that day. And by the time I go through 5 hours of, eating almost every hour, I will be okay. But I will make sure that I don't eat the simple carbs and the complex carbs. The number of times you eat doesn't really matter if you are eating the right things. The number of times you eat does not matter. And I'm going to emphasize on that. It does not matter if you are eating the nutrient dense, the fiber rich, the high protein, and the healthy fats. It would not matter. But if you are looking to gain, if you're looking to lose weight, yes, it would matter. You would have to keep your caloric count to, under 2,000 or under 1,800 or under 2,200, depending on how much weight you want to lose. And that is why I want to do these sessions where I can interact with you, because so many factors contribute to how many times you can eat, your activity level for the day, the time you are breaking, the time you're starting to eat. And so I don't want to give you a clear cut answer that, oh, yeah, you have to eat. I eat 5, 6 times a day. No, my 5, 6 times a day may be smoothies and wraps in between, with probably a whole chicken pizza, like the pizza I've shared. Sorry, forgive, but I do that sometimes. I make the pizza and I finish it because it's zero carbs. Oh Lord, that was so bad to hear, but I do that, and so the number of times I eat, it really doesn't matter, because I know I'm eating the right things. I eat depending on my mood. I know it's horrible to hear, but yeah, that's what I do. But I hope it helped. I hope this information helped. But whatever it is, just listen to your body. Whatever you eat, if you are full, just listen to it. Just stop eating. Sometimes when I started, I realized I was overeating because I would eat these very good nutrient dense foods that are good for me, but at the end of the day, you know, I would want to eat more because I didn't want to get hungry during the night. So I realized I overate a lot. You don't have to do that, especially if you are eating the right things. Like I said, the protein, the healthy fats, and your fiber, it keeps you full longer. So you would be able to manage the hunger from time to time if you are looking to lose weight. Okay, if you're looking to gain, you can eat as many times you want as long as it's the right things. So I hope that information helped. Um, wow, we have so many more. Oh, you guys. Okay, I don't know if I should keep going on, but okay. Let's answer a few. Is 1, 2, 3 after eating a good number? What is 1, 2, 3? Mm, um, okay, Frankie, can you explain that a bit further? Is 1, 2, 3 after eating a good number? And then please explain a little further. I'll come back to that. And then Doris said, Frankie, my experience with sweets. If your sugar levels are good, you can have a quarter muffin instead of a whole muffin. Oh, yes, ma'am. I do that all the time. When I finally reversed type 2 diabetes after, going through all these challenges and doing everything that I've been sharing on the channel, I would incorporate it in not half a muffin, but a quarter muffin, a quarter donut, a quarter here, a quarter there. But I always remember to take in my fiber. And like she said, if your sugar levels are good, you can do that. But if your sugar levels are not so good, please don't do that. So, Doris, thank you for pointing that out. Really appreciate it. Okay, Golden Girl says yes, 17 grams of sugar. I'm not sure what that is related with, but and then Doris says, Miriam, yes, burning food is associated with diabetes mellitus. Okay, but it can be a lot of things. Yes, I did research, but not really on how to deal with it. Recently, through YouTube, I saw that vitamin B12 can help. Actually, yes, I did not want to say it because I wanted to confirm my information that I had read before when he asked this question some time ago. I think I remember it. B12, I found out does help. I did not experience burning feet myself, but B12 really, really does help. Freggy said, wow, I end eating at 6 p.m. Okay, if you're battling blood sugar, try and bump it up to 5 and then bump it up to 4 because the dawn phenomena, it starts at 4 a.m. so that you have like a whole 12 hours. You seem to miss the question of how I can add more flesh. Oh, we answered that. Yes. I hope I answered it. I believe we answered that. So I hope I answered it. And then Doris says, I missed week 1, but I will try to look at week 2 challenge. I have been busy with my daughter's graduation. Oh, Doris, I understand. I have been messed up. I will still follow the challenge on my own. Yes, definitely. Just try and follow it on your own, however way that works for you. Because I know life comes in. Today we are going for a graduation. Tomorrow we are going for a soccer game. Tomorrow we are going for this. So just make it work for you. And it's all on reverdia.org. You can download it and you can follow the challenge at your own pace. It still works. All right. And then I really need to work on the time I end my eating. God help me, Doris says. Use Zoom. Yes. I'm trying to work that out. So we'll figure it out. And then Golden Girl says, is that your oldest child helping you? No, she's more like my younger sister. So more like my younger sister. And then Freggy says, how many times do you eat in a day to end at 4 p.m.? So the times when I want to end at 4 p.m., I actually start eating by 10 a.m. And then by 4 p.m., I'm done. And like I said, because I'm focusing on more nutrient dense foods, I can decide to eat 3 times a day. I can decide to eat 4 times, 5 times. I can decide to eat 2 heavy meals a day. It really doesn't matter. I just make it work in my schedule. So if it is 2 times with between the 10 and the 4, that would work for me. I make sure I eat heavy between the 10 and the 4. If it is 3 times, that would work for me between the 10 and the 4. I make sure I eat the 3 times. If it is 4, 5, 6 times, or it is if it is me having to eat on, you've heard me talk about wrap being my snack. So I would snack on a wrap, I would snack on a smoothie, but I'll make sure I do get my nutrients and my food in so that after 4 p.m. I am not hungry. All right. I hope that helps. And then Michelle says, I am new to this channel. I'm very interested to join the challenge. Where can I go to get registered? So when you go onto my page, you click on when you click on my picture, it'll take you to my page. You click on the community tab, and then under the community tab, you will see all the challenge from week 1, which I believe will start at the bottom because the newest challenge is at the top. But we are still in week 2. Next week is when we are starting week 3. I will post the instructions for week 3, and we would get it going. But while I'm here, I might as well say the challenge for week 3, right? So week 3, basically what we are doing, week 4, I have a more intense challenge for you. So week 3, what I want us to do is, for those who have not downloaded it, go onto the community page on the home page and then scroll through to the bottom. You will see week 1. I think Golden Girl said she also had not seen week 1. But when you scroll down, oh, okay. My sister said she put the website in the comments. So if you click on the website, it will take you to on the link, it will take you to the website. And then on the website, you click the lifestyle tab. You scroll down just before kick up your activity. You will see challenge week 1 and 2 outlined over there. I have created a video on challenge week 2 because that one was very long. I needed to explain what simple and complex carbs are and the way it can be eaten. So I made a video on that. But week 3, all we are going to do is to make sure that we are incorporating the water. The water, remember the amount of water we need to take if you have a sedentary lifestyle, if you don't have a very active lifestyle, is half of your body weight in ounces. If you have an active lifestyle, it will change, the numbers will go up a bit. But if you do have a sedentary lifestyle, and I've shared all of this in my videos, it's half of your body weight. You drink that in ounces. So a hypothetical example, if you weigh 200 pounds or 200 kilos, divide that by 2, and then you have to drink that amount in ounces. So I hope that, I really hope that makes sense. But we are going to incorporate what we are doing in week 1 and what we are doing in week 2. We are going to keep our water in, because I know water is something we forget a lot. I used to forget a lot, a lot. So we are going to incorporate our water, and we are going to be done eating by 5 p.m. Whether it is smoothies, whether it's a wrap that you're eating between 4 and 5, we are going to be done eating at 5 p.m. So we are getting our water in for week 3, and we are getting done eating by 5 p.m. But I will definitely post it so that you have the instruction there as well, and you'll be able to download it on the website. So I think that's about it. Thank you all so much. I truly appreciate all of you who were able to join. If you have not liked this live yet, do well to like it. Hopefully, next time I have better lighting, but I hope the information I shared helped. Thank you all so much for being here. I truly appreciate all the questions and all the comments and everything that you all shared with us, your testimonies. Oh my goodness, your testimonies. I'm loving it. And I'm so proud of you. I am so glad that we are making changes in our lives and we are bringing that A1C down. A1C has nothing on us. So we got this. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining. And I hope you enjoyed this live. I hope you learned something. And as always, until next time, remember to be beautiful, be bold, be true to yourself and to others. Stay healthy and always be you. If you have any further questions, I would answer them. Maybe type it under our live and I will try and answer them on the community page. Okay. Thank you so much, because I think I see some rolling in, but if I'm not careful, I'll keep going and going on. Wow, Frankie, congratulations. Wow, from 92 to 85 kilos. Awesome. Thank you guys so
Doris had
much.
a question.
Oh, Doris had a question.
She said, "Is it wrong not to eat in the morning as a diabetic?"
Is it wrong not to eat? Well, okay, one last question.
That's the last one.
Okay, so is it wrong not to eat in the morning as a diabetic? I really can't eat in the morning. So I start eating at 1 p.m. and end with my second meal at 7 p.m. So it is not wrong not to eat in the morning. Sometimes my first meal is at 2 p.m. It is not wrong. The only thing is that if you start eating late, you still have to try and end eating early because of that dawn phenomenon I've been trying to explain. If you eat late and you eat at 1 p.m. and you end at 7 p.m., by the time it's 4 a.m., where the dawn phenomenon begins, your body has still not waited 12 hours. So you wake up with high fasting blood sugars. So I would suggest that if even you eat at 1 p.m., and that's what I was doing, if even I ate at 2 p.m., I ensured that my last meal was at 4 p.m. And that's how come I could eat 3 meals in one meal, because I wanted to consume everything I wanted to consume before the 4 p.m. was over. But then again, I made it work for my schedule. So just look at your schedule, let it work for you. But if you can, try to be done eating at 4 p.m. Or if even you can't, try 5 p.m. Even if you start eating at 1 p.m., try ending eating at 5 p.m. and see how different it would be, or see if it will make any difference. If it doesn't, then you have to bump it up to 4 p.m. All right. So, ladies, we got this. We got this. Thank you all so much. I know I've signed off a number of times, but I had to take I had to take those questions. So do forgive me. And I can't wait to see you all on the community page. I can't wait for us to begin our Zoom sessions by God's grace, or wherever platform that we use. But I'm so grateful for you all. Thank you, and have a great rest of day. And for some of you, have a very good night. Bye.